Hi everyone, it's Super Bowl weekend and you might be getting ready to have a party for the Super Bowl, or you might be getting ready to go to the party, and I wanted to give you some tips on how you can survive Super Bowl weekend. These parties are often centered around food. You know, it's always the latest food that you bring, or the newest dip, or the best chip that they found, and the commercials are often centered around food or alcohol, and so it's really a struggle. So I want to say to you two words for this weekend: play defense. Play defense. Defense is actually the protection of the goal and keeping the points that the other team has on the board protected. So you need to play defense. And that means that there are two ways you can do that when you go to this party, or when you're having your party. One is to focus on socializing. A lot of times fear is what drives us to the table or to the drink place. You know, it's what we have to do to feel like we can take the edge off of being around people that we may or may not know that well, or you know, some of the nervousness of having to make small talk or conversation. So I want you to focus on doing that in a better way by really getting in there and going for it. Meet someone you haven't met before, have conversations, ask questions, and already kind of think in your head about some of the questions you'd like to ask someone. So what do you do? What are your favorite things to do? What was your most memorable experience this year? Where were you last Super Bowl? Who are you rooting for? And all the regular game questions that you can ask. Just stay focused on meeting people and not putting food in your hand so that you don't feel as nervous. Really take on this fear that we have of socializing and having to be around people. Sometimes it's greater for other people than most. I mean, for me, I love to socialize, it's no big deal. But I do find that I will protect myself with going to get food and having something to eat, and maybe even talking about the food as a way to socialize with people I may not know very well. So even I, who am not afraid of socializing, have those issues. So if you're predominantly a shy person, then this is a real tricky time for you. So play defense by making sure that you're socializing and meeting the people that you have at your party. Now maybe you know everyone, so find out things that you haven't heard about them. Maybe ask them questions like, you know, what's the most interesting thing you've ever done? Just try to make it something like a game for yourself so that you don't feel like the food table is calling you the entire game. The second way to play defense is to actually bring the food that you want to eat. You know, I'm going to get ready to put up a recipe that I just created for my dip for the party that I'm going to go to and take, because part of playing defense is knowing what you're going to eat. And a lot of times when you step into these situations, you don't know what kind of food people are bringing. And there's this sense where we say, because I don't know what everybody's bringing and I don't know what I'm going to eat, I'm going to save a bunch of calories. And then I'm going to go to this party and I'm just going to really not worry. Well, here's what happens. One is, you never know how much you have unless you're counting it. So you don't know, especially if you're eating with just your hands and not a plate, you're not going to know how many calories. And it's easy to consume a full day's worth of calories in just one opportunity. So be very careful about that. The other thing is that you don't want to let on that you're on a diet. You don't want people to know that I'm eating differently. Listen, the more people you tell that you've joined either the Telephone Fitness Trainer program or you're doing Lighten Up for Life, the more they're going to watch you, the more you know that you're going to be on spot. And you have to know that when people are watching you, they're expecting you to do what you say you're going to do. So I just sometimes will tell people, you know, I'm a trainer, and so as soon as I say that, I know everybody's watching what I eat. You know, oftentimes it's even hard for me to go to parties because I can't really be myself because I know everybody's watching what I'm going to eat. So if I even want to have that one sweet thing, I have to dismiss it by saying, oh, it's fine because I'm a trainer, and I'll work it off. But really, people count on me to do what I say I'm going to do by living the life that I want other people to live, and that is to stay true to the idea that you can't get too much in one sitting and don't save your calories. Oh, that's such a huge mistake, because what's going to happen is you're going to get to the party and you're going to be way hungrier than you thought, because you'd saved your calories and you're going to really let it happen, and there's going to be some bad things. Not only are you going to suffer from indigestion because you're probably going to eat faster than you need to, but you're also probably going to consume more calories than you need. So those are my two defense programs that you can do to make sure that your goal this weekend is to remember, play defense. Talk about the game, learn a little bit about football. Don't make the mistake of consuming all your calories in one party. And if you do decide to drink, make sure it's low calorie. Make sure you know how many you have. Don't drink and drive. I know all of you know that. But also remember that alcohol does metabolize fat differently, and it does make it harder to lose weight. So for those of you who are in a weight loss program, remember that drinking alcohol inhibits fat loss such that it takes longer to lose weight. So be very mindful of that, make your choices wisely, play defense, and have a great time.